Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. My guest today, Beth Mullins, head coach of the softball team. Thanks for joining me here today.
Thanks for having me.
And softball season is coming up right around the corner, even though it doesn't really feel like it outside as we're doing this interview, but still it's closer than we think.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I think we're 10 days away, which when we got done with the conference tournament last year, I was already ready to play with this team right here because I knew how special they're going to be. So I'm glad it's right around the corner.
And let's talk about this year's team because obviously last year you had a lot of changeover, a lot of new players on the team, but they've had a chance to get into the system, be a part of it. Big expectations for this year?
Yeah, I think not only from us, I think our girls, without us coaches even saying anything, have high expectations for themselves, which when you can have your team have the high standards that you have without you even saying anything, I think that's important. So I think people are, outside of us, I think people in our conference are going to expect more from us. I don't think we're going to be a shock to anybody. So I think it'll be a special year. It's a special group. They're fun. They're just really fun to coach, and they enjoy playing the game.
And I remember this time last year, you were talking about the youth on that team, and you have had a chance, a year under the belt. They've been playing. Now there's an opportunity to see them blossom. And obviously, are you seeing that out of especially the youth that you had last year, seeing that blossom coming in this year? So
yeah, we're more balanced this year. We've got 6 seniors now. Our actual smallest group is the junior class, and then we've got another 7 in the sophomore, and then 6 in the freshman. So we're still bottom heavy. But they're just so much more experienced. So our sophomore class, was a big class last year and did a lot, but they're a lot more experienced. And our senior class, that is, this is their 4th year, and they all played under me, are just, amazing. They are a huge reason that the freshmen have transitioned so quickly. They're a huge reason that they're fun to coach. They're kind of like their own coaches. The culture's kind of taken over, and I give them a lot of credit. I appreciate them a lot because they really kind of like having another 6 coaches that are helping me. So it's been fun.
It's all good. And let's talk a little bit about pitching right now, because I know there's a that's always for softball. They're looking at the pitcher. It's the star of the field out there. But you got some high expectations for pitching this year.
Yeah, if Coach Smart with baseball would agree. I think it starts and stops on the mound. I think that's what you want. I think when people are talking about your pitching positively, you feel like you're going to have a good year. And I think our pitching is probably the strongest part of our program. We've got a lot of youth in our pitching still, but again, importantly, we have 2 seniors that have been here and done it. So Claire Graves and Peyton Glover have done it for 4 years, and they've been great for our younger kids. Obviously, Annie Willis is the name people are talking about a lot, and she's only a sophomore. But I think when she had a great freshman year, and so she won't be unnoticed. We've got another impressive freshman that's going to be coming in, and she's from Brantley, Alabama, so I know she'll bring her own crew with her to every game, but she's done a great job. So I think people will be talking about them. I think they know they're good. I think that's important, but also know that they can always get better.
Of course. And let's talk a little about the schedule, because things start off let's say a little bit crazy for you guys this year. So talk a little bit about the schedule, especially that opening weekend. So
yeah, I think it's important. You can either try to ease your way into it or not, and we are not easing our way into it at all. Our challenge, again, our team's been really consistent from the end of last year through this fall to the beginning of this year, and I've been impressed, and I think our biggest challenge is to continue that momentum no matter who we're playing and in what atmosphere. I have no doubt with Maryland and Alabama being our first day, there's going to be a crazy atmosphere, and I think the challenge for us is we're very talented, and I think our good is good enough, and to know that and step out on the field despite the fact that there's going to be a lot of fans screaming and yelling. It's going to be really what I wanted to put us into, because if you can go in and be mature in that situation, there's not much that you're going to face that you can't be mature and play our game at.
And of course, after that opening weekend, this year you don't have a lot of Power 5 opponents necessarily on the schedule and bringing here, but you've still got a couple of teams out there that you're going to have their check mark on the Power 5 level there. So
yeah, again, when I did the schedule, we're in some really quality tournaments. We host our first one, and then we go to Orlando, and then we go and play an Auburn's tournament, and then we go back to Tampa, and we're going to play some really good competition. Yeah. And again, I think our biggest challenge is I think a lot of people are going to talk about who we're playing, and we've got to ignore it and play our game. And again, know our good is good enough, and we don't need to try any harder one day than the next, because I think that's the trap that can get you in when you try to play up or down or differently than you do every day at practice.
And of course, then there's just the conference schedule, which of course, anybody who follows Sunbelt softball knows that any given day, anybody can be anywhere in the standings. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think 3rd and 6th were separated by 1 game last year, so I have no doubt it's going to be a dogfight. And I'm looking forward to every game we play. But anytime you get in conference, you're going to get excited to just put your team up against everybody else.
And then let's talk about, once again, folks, they want to see you for the first time right out the bat, Alabama and Maryland, that opening weekend.
February 8th.
February 8th. So an opportunity.
It's going to be warm, high 65.
There you go. For February, it'll be a warm day for February.
Be warm.
So an opportunity, and maybe the bats will be hot as well for the
That's
Trojans
the plan.
that day. So, good luck on the season. Thanks for joining us here today. And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.